Right then, Cole Palmer, Manchester City's starlet from the academy, the next one off the ranks after Phil Foden, recently scored at Wembley in the Community Shield, scored in the Super Cup, scoring bangers. Pep Guardiola trusts him, he's got Premier League experience, he's got Champions League experience. He won Player of the Tournament for England under-21s. This guy's popping off, his stock's high. Why does he want to come to Chelsea? Why does Chelsea want him? How is Pochettino going to play him? Well, strap yourselves in.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy talk. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Thanks for joining me, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. Yes, indeed, £40 million sterling. No, he's the other guy we got from Manchester City with £5 million add-ons. You'd have to assume the £5 million add-ons are Premier League winning, Champions League winning. Usually they are that extra £5 million strapped onto a transfer fee, especially across Premier League clubs. Now, in today's video, we're going to talk about why he fits perfectly for Pochettino's Chelsea. We will reiterate why he's coming to Chelsea, or speculate slightly on that, and we can talk a little bit why Manchester City have sold him. So thanks for joining me. Strap yourselves in. Stay to the end for all kinds of exciting pieces of content. Yes, thank you for liking the video, and you're welcome to subscribe to this channel, Football Therapy. And if you choose to do so, you should hit that sweet, sweet bell, baby. Alright, mate. 21 years old. Firstly, why Manchester City selling before we talk about how we're going to use him? Now, I've said this before, but I'm going to reiterate. Firstly, it's two words. It's that phrase again. Pure profit. Manchester City have spent a lot of money. They looked at Nunes. You know, they've brought in Gvardiol, who costs a lot of money. Yes, they would have generated a lot of revenue from winning the treble, but ultimately, pure profit, £45 million on the books, is too good to turn down for a player that you're not currently starting. Now, Chelsea, of course, have enjoyed pure profit a lot this transfer window, with selling Mason Mount for 60 million, Lewis Hall for 35 million, Ruben Loftus-Cheek for however much he was. You know, Trevor Chalobah and Conor Gallagher have been in the shop window. So pure profit is an exciting thing, because when you, for example, spend £100 million on a player, it's amortized. You've signed him on a 5-year deal. That's amortized over 5 years. That's £20 million a year on the books you have to account for. If you sell someone for pure profit, an academy product, it's immediately on the books. So you just get that immediately. You don't amortize that. It's just dropped straight into your books, and it's a massive allure. Now, that obviously will appeal to Manchester City, but, you know, why would the player want to leave? Well, firstly, you have to sort of think, Guardiola is the best coach in the world, Man City are currently the best team in the world, so that would be a difficult thing to walk away from, but at the same time, he will, you know, understand how his stock is currently high, and he'll want to play, you know, 21's still young, but he'll look at Chelsea, these 19-year-olds starting, these 20-year-olds starting, and he'll think, yeah, now is my time. I've scored these high-profile goals for City. I had a great tournament in the summer. I want to play first-team men's football at the highest level all the time. And they'll look at, you know, Manchester City trying to sign Mahrez replacements, and he'll think, it's just not going to happen for me here, at least so soon. Even Foden sort of comes in and out of the team even now. Guardiola is the best gaffer in the world, but at the same time, he's not renowned for coaching youngsters. Pochettino he's probably the best example at the highest level of coaching and trusting young players. Cole Palmer would see that, and he will see an opportunity to be an important figure right now. Which brings us on to this part of the video. Would he be an important figure right now? How appropriate is he for Chelsea? Well, the answer is very appropriate. Yes, he might not be the most established player that Chelsea have looked at. Of course, we've looked at least Mohamed Kudus for a little bit, Ryan Cherky, and, you know, other players as well. But in terms of profile, he's perfect. Have a look at this image. So this is precisely what Pochettino and Chelsea have been looking for. Of course, this is a screen grab from Transfermarkt. We've been looking for a left footer who can play on the right and play in attacking midfield. As you can see, Cole Palmer, 21 years old, is an attacking midfielder who is left footed and plays a lot on the right hand flank as well. These spaces are precisely the spaces Pochettino wants his new signing to occupy. Of course, a left footer comfortable playing on the right, but can drift into midfield, and even go, in Cole Palmer's case, even go a little bit deeper than attacking midfield. He can play in central midfield, which would allow the likes of, for example, Enzo Fernandez to stroll on forwards, and Cole can back up and occupy the space that Enzo is leaving. So he is, in terms of profile, absolutely perfect. And as you can see, he's also 21 years old, so he suits Chelsea's new Project 2030, where, they're trying to sign 21-year-olds or younger and put them on 7+1 year deals. Now, you can imagine, almost certainly, Cole Palmer will be on a 7+1 contract at Chelsea. Very, very long. So, we have to speculate here. £45 million is no chump change, well, £40 million up front. And he wants to join Chelsea, and like we said, he'll have to be convinced to join Chelsea to join the project. I mean, I'm sure he will get better wages than he's probably on at Manchester City. Of course, Manchester City pay their first teamers massive wages, but he's not really featured that much. He signed his last deal, a couple of years ago, where they wouldn't have put him on massive wages then. They've got him 3 years left, so they probably would be a waste of money to just randomly give this guy a massive pay rise when he's got a few years left on his deal, and he's sort of not yet featuring that much. So he will get a pay rise at Chelsea. Now, of course, Chelsea first teamers don't get silly money anymore. He'll probably get Mudryk sort of money, which is, under 100k a week. But for a long contract, that will be financial security. There will also be incentivized bonuses in that. And he would have been, hopefully he's sort of been inspired by Pochettino, the project, the pitch, that, we're going somewhere. He's got to, think that. Of course, players like Raheem Sterling, his former teammate, will go on the phone to him and be like, yes, something special is happening here, mate. This is an amazing coach. And the football's exciting and less strict, maybe, than Guardiola's sort of mechanisms in terms of football. He could also speak to his England under-21 teammates in Noni Madueke and Levi Colwill to convince him to come. But being convinced to come, is he an automatic starter? Well, you sort of have to say yes, at least right now, especially in the absence of Christopher Nkunku. He could play in the number 10. We're going to talk about the 4-2-3-1 formation, of course. The 3 players in behind the striker. Now, we know the 2 deepest midfielders. The double pivot is going to be Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo, of course. That is the long-term project. You'll see Enzo Fernandez coming forward a lot more. Caicedo will cover by himself. And like I said a minute ago, if Cole Palmer's playing in that number 10, he can drop deep a little bit and swap with Enzo Fernandez. Who have we got on the right, guys? We've got Raheem Sterling's playing really well on the right. Really well on the right. It's easy for me to say at the moment. But ultimately, we want a left footer there. I want a left footer there. Now, we've got a left footer in Noni Madueke, and I want to mention him. He scored an important penalty for Chelsea last night against Wimbledon. A goal, of course, with Enzo Fernandez saw Chelsea qualify to the next round and avoid what would have been a very embarrassing result. And if you want my take on that game, please do consider watching my previous upload. Noni Madueke, Chelsea paid about 20-something odd million for him, so probably half as much as they'd paid for Cole Palmer. Now, if you look at financial investment alone, that would dictate Chelsea are looking to play Palmer over Noni Madueke. And this goes back to the fact how convincing him to come to Chelsea, he's certainly not going to come to Chelsea to play behind Noni. So you have to say, right, Chelsea's attack would be Nico Jackson up front. He remains the best striker option, at least certainly until Christopher Nkunku returns in about December time. Obviously, he can play as a striker. Then you could play Cole Palmer behind him, and then you could have Noni, Sterling, or Mudryk on the flanks. But for the moment, I think you probably will see a front three of Nico Jackson, Raheem Sterling maybe moving over to the left-hand side, and then you can play Cole Palmer on the right and whoever in the 10. But of course, Chelsea at the moment are short on options for the number 10 position. Like I said, the aforementioned Christopher Nkunku is out until probably the second half of the season. And then the deputy for him, or at least who looks like the most appropriate deputy in Carney Chukwuemeka, has also got an injury and is out for a few weeks. Granted, the absence won't be as long as Nkunku, he's still out for a few weeks. So maybe he comes in immediately and plays as the number 10. Of course, we saw Ian Maatsen play as the number 10 in the Carabao Cup game last night. Maatsen in theory, is a left back, but is yet to properly play left back for Pochettino's Chelsea in pre-season and since the season has commenced. And Cucurella looks like he's going to Manchester United, so you think Martin would eventually have to play left back to cover for Ben Chilwell, because out of nowhere, Chelsea have gone from being flush with left backs to being quite short for left backs. So Cole Palmer is the number 10, the left footer that can drift out to the right and rotate, which is good news because it means Raheem Sterling can continue on the right-hand side and continue what has been his scintillating form at the beginning of this Premier League campaign. Cole Palmer is the number 10, free-floating number 10. He can also start on the right. He could probably start on the left, but central midfield, attacking midfield, and the right wing. This pretty much, in hindsight, is the perfect profile for Chelsea, or certainly matches up at, exactly what they want. They wanted that left footer that can play in the middle on the right, like Elise. We all know what happened with Michael Elise, and he ended up staying at Palace. So it's a really, really good signing. I'm personally really excited about this signing. It's come out of nowhere. It was a bit of a secret, signing in many ways. But in hindsight, and of course hindsight is 2020, he's the perfect profile. He's possibly the perfect signing because he's that under 21. He's an England international, so he's homegrown. He suits Project 2030. We know Mauricio Pochettino loves young English players, and he will love how this is a technically gifted left footer that's been coached by Guardiola, and he will see an opportunity here to develop him long-term with the rest of the Chelsea youngsters. Of course, there may be questions and even frustrations of a lack of seniority and experience in the team, but while we're not in the Champions League and while we're just developing a project long-term, I think it's very, very exciting. Of course, you still have some seniority in the front line in Raheem Sterling, and of course, the returning Christopher Nkunku, who's only 25 years old himself, but is still a senior player. So, exciting stuff. He suits the formation, he suits the project, off the pitch as well, the long-term asset development, if you will. And he's the ideal signing for Chelsea Football Club. So let me know what you think. I'm very, very keen to learn your thoughts, feelings and opinions and emotions about this signing. I personally am very excited about Cole Palmer, especially watching him in the summer. Looks like just an absolute baller. I think with this Pochettino side, with coaching the youth players, I just think it's so appropriate. So let me know what you think. Please do comment down below. I look forward to reading your comments as always. If you want some more content from me that's un-Chelsea related, you are welcome to subscribe to my second channel, Football Yannick, where I discuss all things not Chelsea in the world of football. So do consider checking that out. All right, friends, thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you very soon. Peace.